to love, pure undefended love. I open my heart to love, pure undefended love. I open my heart to love, pure undefended love. I open my heart to love, pure undefended love. I open my mind to peace, pure undefended peace. I open my mind to peace, pure undefended peace.
Good morning. Good morning. I thought I'd mix things up today. For those of you who are here for the first time, my hair is normally pink. So, or blue, or I don't know. Green, yeah, who knows? But never black. I've never had black hair in my entire life. So I thought it was fun. Reverend Linda let me borrow this wig for our Egyptian night party last night. And I liked it so much I decided I'd wear it today because it's fun. Yeah. Oh, thank you. So I'm really excited to be here. As you know, this is my favorite day because it's today. And this is my favorite moment because it's the best moment ever, because it's the one I'm alive. And I recognize and know that not always do we have the opportunity to really appreciate the moments that we're alive. And I want to recognize that here we are. There's something sacred and holy going on. There's something in sacred holy going on. And you may be in grief. You may be in a state of transition. I was talking to several of my minister friends, and I've noticed I have I think three prayer. Now I have 3 weekly prayer partners, which is wonderful. I'm very excited. All ministers, and what I'm noticing is that there's a lot of grief going on. And I've kind of declared the year of 2017 the year of grieving, because there's so much change and there's so much transition and there's so much loss. And it's not just, it's people leaving the planet, but it's also noticing stuff that's happening in our world, in our environments, all the natural disasters that are happening. There's a lot of upset that's happening in our political and our government system. There's just a lot of stirring going on. And I had Sister Spirit this year. So Sister Spirit is a retreat I run. And we did it twice this year. We're not doing that again. We're going to only do once next year. But we had this theme, and it was called Embracing the Divine Feminine. We are the ones we've been waiting for. And I thought it was like a really, really cool theme whenever we picked it out. I thought, oh, that's so cool. I'm digging this. Until I started finding out about the divine feminine. So there's the divine masculine, and the divine masculine, the attributes of the divine masculine. And by the way, we all have the divine masculine, the divine feminine within us. We are the perfect marriage of both of them. So our beingness has both of those essences in it. And the divine masculine is power, it's order, right? The divine feminine, it's not opposite of power, but it is opposite of order. Chaos. Now, everything that's moving to the next level of being has chaos. Whenever something is evolving, things literally fall apart. It's like when the seed is planted. The way to make it grow really well is to put a bunch of compost on it, right? Well, that's kind of what's happening. We're in the middle of compost. We're in the middle of a lot of what is compost? It's a bunch of, like, let's say leaves, right? Leaves that are dead. Yes. Leaves that are dead. The things that we eliminate, right?
Yes.
Right? Because your body or the animal's body doesn't need it, right? So a bunch of stuff that's happening, it's dead. And of that dead thing comes the nutrients to birth something new. So this is where we're at, and we're talking about the perfect relationship today, which I love. But I recognize and know that in relationship, we have to know that there are cycles and seasons. And we're in a big relationship right now with our country. We're in a big relationship right now in our world. And we get the opportunity to be that seedling, to take what's going on around us and to be the ones that are the examples in the world. I was listening to some Brene Brown. I'm kind of on a kick right now. I'm really loving her. She just got a new book out too, Braving the Wilderness. And I watched this interview on her, and she said, we have to be in integrity with our words and our beingness in order for us to create a new paradigm for this world, in order for us to have great relationships with each other. We need to be the example of possibility. And that's great. She talks about that, and like, I can say that to you. But then she says, she was noticing both sides of the political spectrum not being in integrity. And she also noticed her own behavior in buying into this behavior. For instance, if you see a meme of Barack Obama that has something inappropriate, like questioning his government or something inappropriate about his skin color, right? And some people will think that's funny. And if you see something on Donald Trump and you see him dressed like Hitler, or you see him in some other inappropriate thing, and you pass that on, you're part of the problem. You're part of the problem. You can't say one thing and then do another thing. We have to be in integrity. If somebody's calling Hillary Clinton crooked Hillary, and then somebody else is calling Kellyanne Conway, something inappropriate too, right? You're still part of the problem. You're part of the problem. So we need to be in relationship with the world in a way that supports and suits and uplifts each other. So Joe and Jane were getting married. And Jane had really bad breath. But she didn't want Joe to know. And all of their dating time, she managed to cover it up. And Joe had really stinky feet. But he was able to cover it up. But on their marriage night, which is their first night together, they knew they were going to have to confess to the other person that they really had been hiding the fullness of who they are. So the husband, after they got married, Joe says to Jane, I have a confession. And she pulls really close to him and says, so do I. And he recoils and he said, oh my God, you ate my socks. Oh, I had to stick something in there fun. Let's get very serious. I know, Elliot's like, what is going on here?
Where is she going with this?
It's a very odd story. You get it. Well, we got to love each other. And you know what? We're all going to have our flaws and our quirkiness and everything. We're all going to have that. There's a Sufi story with this man named Mullah Nasruddin. Thank you. Oh, look at Vance. He's so good. Yeah. So Mulan Nasruddin was talking with a friend about his love life. And he said, I thought I found the perfect woman. He said, she was beautiful. She had the most pleasing features. She was exceptional in every way, except she didn't have any knowledge. And he said, so I traveled further and I found another woman who was both beautiful and intelligent. But alas, we could not communicate. And after further travels, I met a lady who had everything: the perfect mind, the perfect intelligence, great beauty, all of the things I was looking for. But what happened, says a friend. And he said, oh, well, as luck would have it, she was looking for the perfect man. So it's a Sufi story, but it illustrates my point, is that we're never going to be perfect. We're never going to get there. We're going to always work at getting to the place that is in the highest integrity, right? We're always going to work at being the person who's in integrity with the world. But you're not going to be perfect at it. And I want to encourage you to step out and to do things, because no matter what, you're probably going to mess up somewhere, somehow. But if you don't try, you're never going to even get anywhere. We have to know that we go through seasons. We have to know that we are always attempting to strive for the highest and greatest version of ourselves. That's what I'm always doing. I'm always striving for the highest and greatest version of myself. So there is something as a perfect marriage. There is such thing as a perfect marriage. Now, does that mean everything goes your way? Or that you're always right? No. By the way, last night it was Gina's day to be right. So Gina and I have this thing. We have this thing going on, like, you know, it's whenever she's right about something, I'm like, oh, I guess it's your day to be right. And she's like, I'm going to take advantage of this, you know? But that's how it is in relationship, you know? You're not always going to feel romantic. But the perfect relationship happens when you have the right attitude. That's what the perfect relationship is. You think outwardly. You think outwardly. Now, some people, maybe you're in a relationship right now and things are challenging. So I want to encourage you to, just for 1 week, with your relationship that's challenging, I want you to pretend that you love them more than anything in the world. And I know that's difficult. You're like, oh, what? I'm in the challenging relationship. Thanks a lot, Abigail. Wow, that wasn't very good advice. But really, fake it. Fake it. When you pass them at the dining table, touch their arm. Whenever you're nearby them, tell them how much you appreciate them. Notice all the little good things that they're doing. So for a week, be consistent. Just dedicate yourself for a week of being appreciative, of noticing the positive behaviors. And this could be a relationship. It could be a friendship relationship too. You might have a friendship that you're having challenge with. So instead of noticing all those things that they're doing wrong and inappropriate, right? Start looking at all the things that are really working and tell them. Tell that person what you notice. Because feeling follows action. The action, oftentimes, we try and have the feeling and then we do the action. Yeah. Try it the other way around. Try and do the action in order to experience the feeling. And you'll be surprised at how different your life is because of that. Now, I have a little bit of criteria. I got this from Dr. David Bruner. He wrote we have a year of sermons that ministers are collaboratively writing together. And so one minister a week is posting a sample sermon. So he had some good suggestions for if you want to be married and you're not yet, here's the criteria you look for that person. Do you respect him or her? Do you admire him or her? Do you support him or her? And are you attracted to him or her? Those 4 things. You got to qualify all 4 things. If you can qualify all the 4 things, that's a person for you. And if not, stop. Don't waste your time. It's valuable. I can guarantee you that there are probably multiple partners for each person out there in the world. There are plenty of people that are going to fit your criteria, and you're going to fit theirs. So don't give up. Do you respect him or her? Do you admire him or her? Do you support him or her? And are you attracted to him or her? Irma Bombeck says, never be in a hurry to terminate a marriage or a friendship. You may need that person to finish a sentence. Can you believe that? I had that quote written down today. Amazing, huh? Synchronicity.
Oh, man, we're in it. We are in it.
We are in it today. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It is amazing. So I want to encourage you to treat your spouse or coworker or friend as if you love them with your last breath, especially the people you're having challenge with. Especially because it's very likely if they are behaving in a way that is hurtful or mean or unkind, it's actually more of a cry for love. It's actually a cry for love. Because we only behave that way when we're not feeling very good about ourselves. Ernest Holmes says, if one sees only unloveliness in others, it is because unloveliness is a strong element in himself. The light he throws on others is generated on his own soul, and he sees them as he chooses to see them. He also says, it has only been said that we can know God only insofar as we can become God. So think this week, what is godly behavior? And I don't mean like, the ego, you're putting on an ego. I mean like truly, if you were divine love, all loving. And by the way, God doesn't judge. I'm just going to put that little story down. We're going to put that one in the ground. God does not judge. Because if you are infinite love, you cannot judge. You can't wrong God. There's no wronging God. We wrong each other. But God, not at all. So the only people who are judging, us, we're the judgers. We're judging each other. So if we can step into the idea and the possibility of what would love do in every moment of the day, we can create a different idea of possibility for this world. We can be those seeds that are planted in the compost pile. We can rise above that. And I want to encourage each and every one of you to think about that this week. Think about, how can I be that example of possibility? How can I rise above it? How am I contributing to the dysfunction or the addiction to be harmful and hurtful to others, including myself? Ask yourself those questions this week. There's an Islamic story about a cleric. He was teaching in the desert and he was reciting all of his scriptures to a group of spellbound listeners. And early in the morning, a very disheveled cat came over and laid down on his robe. And he didn't notice the cat was laying on his robe, but all day long he taught, he explained about the scriptures, And the cat just absorbed the love and the appreciation. And when the day came to an end, everybody went home for the evening. And the cleric looked down and saw this curled up little sleeping cat. And when he saw the cat asleep on his robe, he took out his Swiss Army knife and he cut off the robe. And he allowed the cat to stay sleeping right where it was. In this way, the teacher destroyed his most beautiful garment, but he left the cat undisturbed in its slumber. That is true love. Compassion for others is a symptom of love for oneself. So I want to encourage you to look this week. Think about how you can make your life and others' life worth living. Be the kind of person that you want to love, hug, and come home to. Be that kind of person. Be the kind of person that you're looking for in the relationship. Because if we truly do this, I think the world is going to change. And I'm seeing it already. I know it's shifting and changing, and it's changing here right now with each and every one of us. And so I want to thank you for coming today, for participating, and for co-creating and partying with me on the best day ever. And so it is. Thank you. Let's pray. I'm so grateful to know that there is this one God, this one universal presence of love, of light, that is here in and through all things. It is in my heart and my soul, and today I step forward and I claim that mantle of being the person that is the love in the spaces where I notice love is not. I recognize and know that this truth is not only my truth, but each and every person here, each and every person who listens to these words. I'm so grateful to know that God is moving me to move in a new way, to be in a new sense of possibility. I open and surrender to that idea, recognizing and knowing that it moves me, that I surrender the need to judge, the need to blame, and I step into the idea that I am the divine servant of love. I uplift, I empower, I inspire. And I recognize and know that as things are falling apart in this world, as destruction is happening, that in the midst of all of that, new seeds are growing. And so I choose to see and know and claim that for each and every one of us, that in the midst of the grief and the sorrow, new seeds of possibility open up. And so I just surrender to that knowing, to that beingness, to that welcoming. I am a space for possibility. And so I welcome that into my life here and now, as does each and every person here. I claim it, I know it, I declare it. I become it. And for that I am truly grateful, and so it is.
So it is.